So today we're going to have a look at the map editor. I'm going to be showing you guys how to get a height map from any area in the world. Some areas are obviously more suited for that thing than others. How to save that, where to save it, how to import it into the map editor in City Skylines, and how to mess around with it afterwards. Um, Let me quickly get my Skyline sound on so that we have that in the background. Go, you should be hearing that now. And I'll jump on over to the screen I made for this. There we go, you should now see the website I'm using to export my height maps from. So I did ask on Facebook and on Twitter if anyone had any suggestions for height maps, because when I asked yesterday during my stream, loads of people had ideas, but I kind of like forgot all about them. And I can like scroll back through my entire chat to try and find them again. So that's why I asked on Facebook and Twitter. Not a lot of replies, but we got some. I'll be doing one for an area Jesse recommended. Why did the music just stop? Skylines, that's odd. Oh, there it goes again. And I'll be looking at some other areas. I'd like to get Milford Sound in there just to have a look, and maybe some other areas as well. So, first of all, to get a height map, it's easiest, I guess, to use the terrain.party website. Then you just search for a city or a region. So, for example, how did I spell that again? Is that how I spell it? That's what Jesse suggested. There we go. So this is Wales. I'll zoom out a little bit. So the entire world is on here. Look at that. Such a tiny spot on the entire world map. What? Anyway, let's get back to that area. You can click and drag the little square. Like so. But of course it's easier to just search for a specific area if you know the name of the area. Awesome. Oh, they added the full Nürburgring in Assetto Corsa? Nice. It's your house? I can't see it, but I'm sure it's here somewhere. So two things to keep in mind. Let me know if this music is too loud, by the way. I don't think it is, but two things to keep in mind. You have this big blue square. This is your entire map that will load into the map editor. However, you see the smaller 5x5 grid. This is your actual like buildable grid. Once you load this into the map editor, you will be able to select a starting tile, and then people will be able to build 9 tiles if they don't have the mod that allows you to build 25. Move it left to valley? They're after me again. Let's start that donation train. Keep up the good work, Lau. Enjoying the stream. Thank you! I just got started! I like to vote. Thank you for that $1 donation. Let me know where you would like that to go. That scared me. This is not an illegal activity. I'm sure the police will be fine. So, as I said, the blue square is the entire map. Basically, the outer sort of 2 squares deep part is just for like scenery and just stuff you can see from your city, but you won't be able to build on this ever. Move fund? Awesome. I'll put it in there once I move over to my other screen so that I don't have to re-add it to every screen. So what you want to keep in mind is that you put your whatever you want to build on inside this little 5x5 grid of squares. So what did you want to valley? I don't see. Do you mean like literally just a valley, or is there a place called Valley here? Time for a Red Bull? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Whenever it's convenient for you. Awesome, thank you. Oh wow, that name. I'm not even going to try pronouncing that. Cool. So, it's always nice to get an interesting bit. So, one of the problems if you're making maps outside of the USA is that the data that this application uses is just not very the resolution isn't great. Let's just say that. It's like a 30-meter resolution. If you try and make a map of the Netherlands, it will just all be flat. Also, it will most likely all be below sea level, so once you load it into map editor in City Skylines, it will immediately flood from all sides. It's quite funny. It's like a tsunami of water from all sides. I can show you that if you want. It's near you can't get me to pronounce that. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay, so this would actually be quite an interesting area. Note that there's 2 entire squares that are completely sort of sea, and that doesn't really make for any interesting building. So for anyone who has the 25 tile mods, they will immediately not be able to build on these 2. However, it can just look nice. And if you're just using the map for yourself and you know that you will only be building on 9 squares, just make sure you have a good selection of squares to choose from. I think I like this part. Okay, let's make sure. Yeah, so we have 2 entire squares in the water, that's fine. Even 3 would be... I think that wouldn't be too bad. Just make sure not to build there. So you can build on a 3x3 grid like this, for instance, if you get 9 tiles unlocked. And this way we can have this as a starting tile. There's a mountain on the left. Oh yeah, we will see it in the distance. Or I can take this entire little, it's not really an island, is it? This little part. So that the mountain is on there. But I would like to go sort of here-ish. So the mountain is just outside the buildable area. But we will definitely see it on the map because it's still within that blue, it's 9x9 I think it is, square. Yep, and then our middle tile can be the starting area. The middle tile does not have to be the starting area. Cool, so I think we're ready to export it. By the way, there's different views here as well. You can get a satellite view, although that's not available everywhere, and the OpenStreetMaps shaded relief is not always visible. At least I haven't been patient enough to see if it actually loads. Is that Holy Island? There's a Holy Island in near Newcastle as well. I've been there. There must be multiple Holy Islands. Yeah, this is the area Jesse lives in. So I don't actually know how the height differences are going to look. Obviously, what this will export is just plain and simple height map. So no roads, no train connections, nothing. You need to put them in yourself. You can either look at maps and make them look as realistic as you can or want, or you can just plop a train line and road connection anywhere. Doesn't really matter. I think I'm ready to export this. So we have quite a few tiles that are not really buildable at all because there's too much water, but that should make for some nice scenery, I guess. And there should still be enough to build on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tiles that people can build on. Should be enough. Okay, so then you click on the download. I'm gonna call this Anglesey, if that's how you pronounce it. Hey, Bedroom Gamer. Just eating lunch? I hope you're enjoying your lunch. What are you having for lunch? Okay, so you cannot really see because it's cut off a little bit, but it's downloaded there. I'm going to show this in the folder, and obviously you will not be able to see this because I have my what's it called, browser captured. The place you want to put this in is your C drive, users, then your username, app data, local, colossal order, cities, skylines, add-ons, map editor, height maps. So that's quite a few folders you need to dig through. I shall paste this in chat right now, so if you are interested you can, of course, take the space out of the where the C colon and the slash are, because if I didn't put the space there it would send a smiley. Smileys are nice, but not very useful. So you may have to actually create this folder yourself. I think I had to create at least the height maps folder, maybe even the map editor folder. Perfect pronunciation? Score. A sandwich and a pork pie. Nice. Good get. So what you do basically is you pop it. You have to unzip it, obviously. So what it does, it will download a little zip file, archive. You unpack that, unzip it, and then you can look at the different height maps, because you will get at least 4 different height maps. There's the 30-meter resolution, there's some other resolutions, there's basically just height maps from different sources, and there's one that merges the height maps, and that usually gives you the best result, so I would advise you to use the merged height map. Just copy that over into your height maps folder, and then you can go ahead and open it in your map editor. I will put all of this on YouTube, The Bedroom Gamer. Yes. Hey, Lilmut Fingers and hey Zendev, how are you guys doing? Yeah, so I already made one map and put it on the Steam Workshop. You can find it by searching for Honolulu, and it's Honolulu version 2. And I made some mistakes which I will go into once I get to the map editor. So we now have Anglesey. I'll just start with this one, and we can always go back to the terrain.party website to create another one if we want to. So I can safely close this. And we'll jump on over to the game. There we are. Just came home from ESL. Nice. How was it? That must have been some event. Put me on YouTube. I want to be famous. Will be done, Zendef. It will be done. So we can now start editing the map. Tools, map editor. I would like to... You can load maps that you have worked on previously, but these are not the height maps. So I'm going to start a new one. I can choose a temperate... I can choose 3 different... Well, Wales definitely isn't tropical. This one looks a bit too northern. Although maybe that would be realistic. Let's go for this one. Create. Oh, that's nice, Jesse. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name of that town, but that's where the only working windmill in Wales is and where I grew up as a young child. That's nice. Yeah, Jesse's Welsh. Yep. Cool. So, see, when you start a map in the map editor, it's a big green blank square. Chirpy will tell you the requirements of this map, or any map really. You need to have a water stream, you have to have at least 1 incoming highway and 1 outgoing highway, and then there are some more recommended things that you don't need but are helpful. So that's a train track, ship, plane paths, have some oil, forest, fertile areas, and ore. You don't need them, but it's nice to have them. Just to make sure people have an option when they go in. So the problem I always feel like I'm facing with this, it's just like when you're starting a paper or a drawing, you just have a blank sheet of paper and it's just you need to start somewhere. So that's why I like working with height maps. So let's go and import that height map. You can find it here under the import height map icon. As you see, I have quite a few. Earlier this morning I exported a Milford Sound height map, which is an area in New Zealand, which I really loved when I was there. Hey Micah, how you doing? I also have several New Zealand height maps: Auckland, Bay of Islands, Queenstown and Christchurch, and some places where I've been on holiday. Some places in the Netherlands which don't really work that well. I have one from Scotland. I have Honolulu, of course, that's the one my Honolulu map is based on. And I have an Edinburgh and an Amsterdam one. I can show you for fun what happens if you import the Amsterdam one. I think it will... Will it start flooding immediately? It doesn't look like it starts flooding immediately. The problem, of course, with the Amsterdam one is that it's just the resolution is not good. It's not good. So you can see the I canal here, I think. That's the canal. And then the rest of it is just sort of noise. Oh, there we go. Let's speed it up. There are the mega tsunamis. That's what I meant when I said if you import a height map for an area that's below sea level, you'll get mega tsunamis. You can change the level of the sea level, so you can change the sea level, so that should not be much of a problem, but it's just very funny to see this. So that's what happens when you import a Dutch height map. So let's go back and import this Anglesey height map instead. Let's just do a new map for this, because the water will just not go away otherwise. The Amsterdam map should be quite high, if you know what I'm saying, Jesse. Cool. So we have the Anglesey height map imported now. I'm pretty sure this is not below sea level. I can close this. So this looks quite good actually. We can already see the coast. This is where the water should be, obviously. That's the mountain. I'm not quite sure if it's high enough, but this is what the height map made of it. Anyway. So we'll have some water there. Wasn't there an area where there was water there, wasn't there? We can always make this some kind of river. Obviously, if you want to make it look more realistic... Oh, there's the water. See, it's coming in. Let me lower the sea level just now. Okay, water's drying up. Cool! So sea level is lowered now. Because I want to make sure that I add my own water sources. I completely forgot what I was saying before that. Won't this map be quite small? Well, this is the playable area, the little white square you see, and you can pick 9 tiles from the starting one. I'm pretty sure there was water right there. So we can make a little river there. Okay, I'll just pause it for now. It looks quite jagged, but there's tools to smooth it out, so we'll definitely do that. We can basically terraform the entire map, but we'll need to keep in mind that this is just the playable area. Okay, so I would like to have some water there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little river. It will not be very realistic. It will not look like the area actually looks like. Holy Island is meant to be completely separate, so that's probably there, right? It's probably there. I'll draw a little... But I think I remember there was water here as well, because this is the starting tile and I wanted to have some water there. Mountain isn't actually tall enough to be a mountain, but everyone calls it a mountain. Fair enough. Cool, okay, so we have some tools there. We have lower and raise. We have a level tool that makes it easy to even out terrain. We have a soften tool to soften edges. And we have a slope tool, which I haven't actually used yet, to create slopes on terrain. Then we have brush sizes and strength variables. So you can have a super huge brush to do like really rough work, and you have like super tiny brush, even tinier, to do really tiny. Look at that, you can't even see it. Really tiny stuff. Brush strength will affect the strength of the sort of action you're doing. So for shift up or down, it will basically mean that if you have a very strong brush strength, it will just go up or down really quickly, I guess. So, ultimate Aereo. Can we have a district that looks like a dog and then call it Frankertown? The first person who builds me Frankertown will be my hero forever. I'm not actually building any towns at the moment. I'm not sure if I'll get to building towns today because I'm doing a map editor tutorial. Yeah. Hey JJ Crib. Okay, what I'm gonna do first is make sure to level out the terrain a little bit. If you left click on the terrain, you can, if you right click I should say, you can select the desired height, and left clicking it will set it to that. So if I right click here and then start left clicking here, you can see that it sort of smooths out and it will actually just stop lowering the terrain until it's at the level I wanted it to be. So I'm going to make my brush size a little bit bigger, not too big though. And I'm just going to draw a little thing there. So this is now, looks like the sea level is a little bit higher than this level there. I'm going to actually set it to this level there so that the water can flow into the sea more easily. I'm going to make this a little bit broader, so there we go. It doesn't have to be too precise. It's just, I really enjoy this. It's like painting. This is a terrible city. Lau, there's barely any buildings or roads. Where's the fast food places? 0-10, apply yourself. Come on. Oh no. I'm gonna make sort of a I'm just playing around here, guys, so I'm not actually trying to recreate the exact shape of what the part of this country actually looks like. I wonder whether this is how they created Anglesey in real life. You just split it in the wrong place. I know! Are you offended by that? I hope not. Okay, so you can already see that these edges look very different from these ones. These ones just look very jagged because that's how the height map exported them. But we're going to be smoothing all of them so they all look like similar. Cool. Okay, so we have some rivers. Rivers are good because players will want to build sewage, outflow pipes, and water pumps. So if you don't have any rivers, if you have just water that's not moving, they'll make it very difficult for players to put in a sewage pipe and a water pump, because the sewage pipe will just dump all the sewage and it will just pool around itself if there's no moving water whatsoever. Hey Queen Miala, how you doing? Okay, so let's grab our smooth tool. Same goes for the smooth tool, the brush size and brush strength. I actually like to use this one even though I don't really know why. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And by doing this, you can already see it becomes less jagged. If you put the strength up even more, it becomes even less jagged. I think I like this. Size should not be too big because otherwise it will just like become one big blur. But this looks way more realistic than how the height map is exported. So I can always tell when I look at height maps in the Steam Workshop, I can always tell like who did not smooth their edges. Not that I'm accusing people, or, I mean, each to their own, but I just don't really like these edges like this, so I always end up smoothing them. You will have to go through the entire map, all the coastlines. This looks pretty nice, if I may say so myself. Did you know that water pumps actually pump the rivers dry if you make too many? Yes. I have seen that, yeah. There are some tricks as well as to where to put dams and your sewage outflow, because if you put your sewage outflow sort of before a dam, your dam will pump out more water and thus create like more electricity, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna get a tiny brush size for this little bit there. It looks low enough. See, there's some dimples and stuff here that I'll smooth out as well at some point, but we'll get to that. I usually use the level tool to make that happen. So you need to find a balance between the strength and also the size of your brush, because otherwise you end up just brushing everything away. Which you can do, obviously, if you want that, but that's not what I want to do. We can even make some beaches in Wales if we want. You got white chocolate Oreos. I'm very jealous now. The coast around the mountain is very jagged. So then this will not be a very realistic map of Anglesey. Yeah, let's have a look here. What's going on? Basically just brushing away those little square pixels, I guess they are, on the height map. Hey Whoopdecker, how you doing? Good afternoon. Dimples are cute? Yes, they are. But they can be very annoying if your sea level is too high and the water rises up through them. So, one thing you need to take into account with your sea level is that if it's too high, this is a mistake I actually made in the first version of the Honolulu map, if it's too high, it will actually sort of go through the ground and like somehow, and it will give you the "this house is flooding" message, whereas the house will just be on like the mainland, but it will still say it's flooding because the sea level is too high, and apparently it just comes up through the ground. So you may want to take that and like keep that in mind while you're playing with the sea level on your map. That looks awesome. There's no water there. Cool. Okay, so we started there, so we need to just finish this little bit there. I'm gonna make the brush size a little bit bigger. Make this go a little bit faster. Hey, the Teflon Dawn, how you doing? Sorry, I missed you saying hi, hello. You were watching a stream yesterday, and he found a tiny island. And they put one house on there, they made it a district, and called it JJ's Privates. Oh my gosh, that was funny. That's good. Little sticky bit out in the ocean, side out of the mountain, is called South Stack. It's home to a lighthouse that guides ships from Ireland. Oh, that's nice. Too bad you can't have any lighthouses in the game. I'm sure someone will make one at some point. Okay, so we just smoothed that a little bit too much. There is actually an undo button. The only place in the game where there's an undo button is in the map editor. So if you're not happy with something you're doing, say you're not happy with that, blammo, dimples are back. So that's a quite a nice feature of the map editor that you should familiarize yourself with, probably. A supermarket full of slow people, man, that's annoying when that happens. Especially when you know exactly what you want to get and just want to have an efficient shop, and then everyone's there holding you up. It can still look a little bit jagged. That's fine. We just don't want any of these little pyramids to show up. At least that's what I don't want to see. So we'll smooth them down a little bit. There we go. I think that's everything on the coast anyway. That should be it. Oh, there's a little island there. I doubt you can build anything on here. There we go. That should stick out above the water nicely. That'll look cute. Okay. Let's see. What's next? Oops, I keep tapping the wrong keys. Okay, dimples. I'm gonna remove some dimples. I'm gonna use the level tool for that. I'm gonna right click to set the height and left click to fill in the dimples there. You might want to set the height for each dimple, because if you go to different parts of the map, the land may be higher or lower. That may be a problem. Not a lot of dimples here. That should be fine. Oh, that looks like a piece we haven't actually smoothed out yet. Quickly do that. Thanks for the lunchtime viewing. I better get a move on. I'll take a look at this when you upload to YouTube. Awesome! Sounds like a plan. And have a good rest of the day, Bedroom Gamer. Leave the dimples alone, you monster! They can be really annoying though to deal with if you leave them in, I think. I've not actually tried playing around with them in the just build mode of the game. Do I want to leave these in? To be honest, I think I may actually smooth this out so that this, like, the water has somewhere to go instead of it just being a large dimple. These dimples though, I'm gonna fill. This one I'm gonna fill. I can make the water go here, that's fine.